everyone, สวัสดีค่ะ I'm Sandy and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to recommend a book that is gonna help you memorize more English vocabularies. And I actually have two books for you today. I have this one and also this one. So let's start. Now these two books are actually connected to each other and I'm gonna start with this one because if you're gonna practice, you're supposed to start with this book because this is a summary of the vocabularies that you need to know when you want to take English exams like TOEIC, TOEFL, and all those stuff. And this is a very good summary book because if you're not in the mood to do exams, you can just read and then memorize those words. I really like the summary book because most of the time I feel like I'm not ready to do exams yet. So I'm gonna spend a lot of time reading the vocabularies and just memorizing it. Now in these pages, they have many boxes and in each box, they're gonna give you the important English vocabulary that you need to know. However, what is more important is that they're gonna give you the synonyms of those words as well. And it is so important. Now, FYI, just to avoid any confusion, a synonym is a word that has a similar meaning to another word. Now, why is it so important to understand synonyms? Because most of the time, these English exams, one part of those exams tend to be finding the synonyms, finding similar words. For example, you read the vocabulary in the question and you have to answer choose the choice of the word that has a similar meaning. See, that's why you have to know the synonyms. That's why I think the book is so good because they have so many pages of those synonyms. For example, I'm going to show you page 11 and the word that I'm learning today is additional. And you're going to see that the book will tell you what is the word form of additional, which in this case is an adjective. And of course, they gave you the synonyms. Additional could also mean the same as added, extra, further, supplementary. And you can use all these synonyms in your exams as well. Moving on to the second part, once you memorize all those words, and of course, you won't memorize it all, but we're gonna move on to part two, which is the vocab review. And this is kind of like a not too difficult test for me. Like if you compare this book with the other, I think this is a lot easier than the other book. But easy doesn't mean that you don't have to do it. You should still do it because it's very useful. So they're gonna let you complete each sentence using the correct form of the word. And if you notice, the question says you have to use the correct form of the word. So basically, you just can't like choose the word and then put it in the blank. You have to choose the correct word form of the word. And you're gonna see that I made so many mistakes, but I think that's like the best way to improve yourself. You have to make mistakes from these exams. Once you're done with that book, you're gonna continue with this book, which is only exam. Only. No summary, no explanation, no more. You're gonna do exams only, which I think they include like 1,000 exams. At first, I was like, oh, it's kind of difficult, but then after a while, I get used to it, and then I realized that the words in this second book is actually from the first book. So that's why I say you have to start with the first book. You have to understand the vocabularies in the first book to do this book, or you can just use both at the same time. This 1,000 exam includes a lot, like variety of exams. For example, the easiest one would be like choosing the word that has like the closest meaning or basically choosing the synonym. And throughout the book, you're gonna see that the difficulty increases. For example, instead of choosing the synonym, like just the word matching the other word, you're gonna read like the sentence and then understand the context. And if you don't know the meaning of that word, you have to guess the meaning from the context. Or basically, we like to call it context clue exams. I also like this part, which is like the passage. So you read the passage and then they're gonna ask you like to fill in the blanks of those passage and then you just choose the multiple choice to fill in the blank. But I think it's still difficult than the context clue because the context clue exam, they're gonna give you like one sentence. But this is the whole passage. So you need to kind of like read and also put in the vocabulary. Before we end the video, I want to say that these books will be the most useful for you only if you decided to practice. Practice, practice, practice is so important. You just cannot memorize the words. You have to try use it in the real context or your exams as well. So I hope this video is useful for you guys, especially for people who is gonna prep for English exams. That's it for today. Thank you for watching. Bye!